Hi, welcome to the Anxiety Doesn't Own Me podcast. My name is Emmanuel Isaacson, and I'm here to help you to heal your anxiety naturally. On today's episode, what we'll be talking about is how a lot of us, we tend, whenever we're trying to overcome our anxiety, we will just focus on one thing, which is good in a way, but at the same time, we just get lost and just don't expand into different areas. So it definitely is good that we're focused on one thing, but it should be one thing at a time. But at the same time, we need to expand it to different areas so that we can overcome our anxiety. Now, what are these different areas that I'm talking about? So in each person, in each human, there are four parts to us, right? There is the physical part, there is the emotional part, the mental part, and then there is the spiritual part. Now, these four parts are what helps us to, if we improve these four parts inside of us, it will help us to feel better and more balanced in life. But whenever we're focusing on just one part, let's say, for example, a lot of people that I speak with, I ask them, like, what do you do to help you to calm down your anxiety? A lot of them tell me exercise really helps, which is amazing. It does help. And of course, the right exercise. Like for me, for example, I can't pick heavy weights. Like the reason why is because it puts a lot of pressure. This is whenever I was going through my anxiety. I wouldn't be able to carry heavy weights, which I used to do beforehand, because that would cause a lot of pressure on my body and it would increase my anxiety. So what did help me was, for example, jogging, running, going swimming really helped me out because these were more calming, much easier and less pressure on my body. And also it pumped in dopamine into my body. So it really did help. But at the same time, you see, that's not going to be enough, going to exercise. It's a really great tool and it's only one part of our body and only one part of ourselves that's getting healed. That's helping us to heal, but we need the other three parts as well. The emotional part, we need to heal that emotional part, and also being able to know how to deal with our emotions. Like whenever a certain situation that arises that isn't going our way, how are we going to react? How do we act towards that situation? And also this happens a lot with our kids. Whenever they don't do something that we want, and it gets frustrating, it gets tiring because we have so many things and like we can't handle any more resistance, and then they come and they do something that's not our approval. How do we act towards that situation? Are we disciplined with our emotions, or are we just letting our emotions lead us? And on top of that also as well, we also need to heal that emotional trauma that we've had or the emotional hurt that we went through. We also need to heal that in order to feel much better. So if a person is just going to go exercise, but he's not dealing with the emotional part, that really isn't solving the problem. Yes, it is helping to feel much better, but that isn't solving the problem for the long term. And that's what we need to do. Now, another thing is that the mindset, right? The thoughts that we have, the mind. We also need to know how to think the right way, because if we are thinking in a negative way, for example, and not in a positive way, right? And I'm not saying that it's possible to always be positive. It's impossible. I'm speaking for myself. It is literally impossible to be positive all the time. It's hard to do that. And that's going to cause you a lot of pressure trying to be positive all the time. But what we could do is be positive, but also at the same time, look at the negative. We're looking at both sides. And then we're able to choose, like, no, I want to choose this thing. Instead of us just trying to be positive. I got to be positive. Why am I being positive? And that puts a lot of pressure on us whenever we can't think of something positive and we're hurt. So sometimes we just got to be with the hurt, or whatever the situation is. Just accept it the way we see it and then change the narrative later on. That's going to help us to make us feel better. But again, the third part is our mindset. And of course, I'm not going in order over here of what you need to do first. That's not what I'm doing over here. I'm just, talking, part by part so that we can break it down. So think about it this way. If the person doesn't have the right mindset, or he's not able to think differently and look at the situation differently. And let's say, for example, right, we have low self-esteem and we're thinking negative about ourselves, or we don't have the confidence and we don't think we're capable, right? And he's just taking care of the physical part or even the, let's say, the emotional part, but we also need to fix the mindset in ourselves, because the mind, I think, is the first thing that we need to do with the exercise. I think that will work simultaneously at the same time really great. But whenever we have the right mindset, our emotions will start improving and we will start feeling better. But again, if we just focus on one thing at a time, it's not really going to help. So if we just focus on the mindset, on our mind, but we're not exercising, that's not really good, because exercising is really important. It is really healthy for body health and can also speed up the process for healing our anxiety. Now, the fourth part is the spirituality about a person. The spirituality, it can really bring calmness in oneself. For me, for example, is that I believe in God. This is what my belief is. I truly have a good connection with God, and that's something that is important for somebody. And again, some people I know that don't believe in God, I personally don't understand how not, because I don't know how they handle their situations without God being there on the side. I ask God for help on everything, and everything that I do, I tell him, like, can you please give me some clarity of what to talk about today on the podcast? Can you help me to become successful in helping people to overcome their anxiety? Guide me in the right direction for that person. Like, I cannot do anything without him. It is all him. I can't do anything. So that part, connecting with him and starting to learn about God, to be able to understand him and build a relationship with him, has really improved my anxiety tremendously. And a lot of people I know that they say, like, oh, for example, like with religion. And again, you don't have to be religious to believe in God. You don't have to do that. God in himself is, you just want to connect with him. It's something amazing, something beautiful. Again, because a lot of people with religion, some people just don't have a good experience because, oh, with religion, it's just negative. He's punishing. And if I don't do the right thing, and that puts a lot of pressure on a person that continuously think that way. But the truth is that God doesn't want to punish. It's like a parent. They don't want to hurt their child. They love their child. But if the child, for example, is doing something that doesn't improve with the parent, what does the parent do? It tries to discipline him in the right way, out of love, not out of hate, and just try to cause, damage to that kid. That's not what he wants to do. That's not the end goal. But the truth is that he wants to help you in the right direction to your purpose in this world that we sometimes get astray by. So they want to put you back into that path and telling you, hey, this is what's right for you. This is what's good for you. Stop going over here. Start going over here. But we are sometimes so stubborn and we don't want to listen, and we don't want to take that route. Like, for example, helping people with anxiety, for years I pushed it off because I said to myself I wasn't capable in doing it. But he always put me back into the path. He brought people in my life that had anxiety to help them out, to overcome their anxiety, and other people to connect. And he has given me success in this because he wanted to show me what is the right path. And there's other things that I've done in the past. Like, I try to build different businesses that didn't become successful. And this one has been. In a way of like helping people overcome their anxiety, which is amazing. So the fourth part, the spirituality part, is a big thing personally for me. And whatever works for you, you got to find whatever that spirituality is, that calmness, that peace, because that's what brings us true peace in this world and gives us some understanding of like the struggle that we are going through. Because I'll give you an example of what I mean. I went through an anxiety disorder almost close to 12 years ago. I struggled for 3 years with an anxiety disorder. And the entire time while I was going through it, I said, God, why in the world am I going through this? For what reason? What did I do wrong? You see, right away, punishment. That's the one thing I thought. I'm like, what did I do wrong over here? Why are you letting me struggle with this thing? This is so hard. I hate this. And I honestly was angry with God. I was angry. You see, but that's the relationship. Sometimes you're angry with your spouse, and sometimes you guys are peaceful, and it's a relationship. But regardless, God has unconditional love. But at that time, whenever I was going through it, I couldn't see and understand, like, why in the world are you putting me through this hell? It was literally hell on earth. And you definitely understand that yourself, how hard it is, and how you just feel hopeless and lost, confused. You feel like you're going insane. You feel like you've lost your mind. It really, really was a very tough time. And depression on top of that was extremely tough. But I didn't understand then why I was going through it. Going through the panic attacks, going through the anxiety attacks, going to the ER almost every other day, going continuously to the doctor. I always thought there was an issue with me. Whenever the sun was set, I would feel depressed. I would just cry for no reason. And once the sun was set, I was fine. But going through all that ordeal of that struggle, why? But I figured out why. He put me through that to bring me to my purpose in this world. And this is my purpose. This is what I want to do, is to help people to overcome their anxiety. That is my mission. Because I see how it is done. I know how it is done to overcome it. Again, we need to apply. We need to take the action and put in the work to get the results. And a lot of us just want to have a fast relief. We want something that's just a relief, instant gratification, and just feel much better. But with an anxiety disorder, it is different. You can't just take a pill. There is no pill out there that is going to cure the problem. It's if you're taking the pill to make you feel better, then that's fine. Again, but that's a crutch. That shouldn't be the solution to the problem. The solution is these 4 pillars that we need to work on. And I'm not saying that we need to work on one shot, because it's a lot to work on, but it takes some time. Again, it took me 3 years. 3 years of continuously working on myself in order to overcome it. Now I help people much shorter than that. But again, each person is different. It depends on the actions, because it took me 3 years because I didn't understand or know what to do in order for me to overcome my anxiety. But now I do know. Now I do know exactly what I need to do. But building these 4 pillars, building these, I like to call them the 4 pillars, building ourselves is really going to help us to overcome our anxiety. And we can take one thing at a time. And me personally, what I think starting first is the mindset. That is the first thing, while you're doing the exercise as well. Working on them together. That's what I did. The first thing is work on my mindset. Then I worked on my emotions as well. After that, after a little while, I gave myself some time while I got myself into a habit. I started working on my emotions. How to handle my emotions. Because when the mindset is good, I'm able to handle emotions in the right way. And till today, I have difficulty sometimes. Because again, the emotions are very strong. And that's okay, but we need to build ourselves in the right mindset. And I know how to build the right mindset in order to help ourselves to calm down and live a life much happier. And then I also started to work with God. I also started to speak with God. I started to build a relationship with Him. And again, you have to build your own relationship in whatever you believe in and whatever your thing is. But the spirituality part is a huge thing. It really does help. Again, me personally is just God, and I see the amazing things that He has done in my life and the guidance that He has provided me the entire time. It literally makes no sense to me. Literally makes no sense. I remember whenever I was in my worst time, I remember I was speaking to God. I was just praying because I was just so hurt. I said, please guide me to the right person who can help me. Please, I am begging you. I cannot handle this anymore. This is too hard. Nobody understands what I'm going through. It is so hard. It is so difficult. I am begging you just to please help me, just to please guide me in the right direction to the right person that really is going to help me, because you sent me some people, and because I didn't really ask beforehand, but I told him, like, please send me the right person. And he did after that. He guided me to the right person that went through an anxiety disorder, which gave me instant relief, which is amazing. And then he was able to help me and guide me in that direction in overcoming my anxiety. But again, a lot of the work came from me as well, and all the research that I've done and all the workshops and seminars besides going to therapy, which really helped me out to overcome my anxiety. I hope you guys liked this episode. If you did, please click the like button and also give me a 5-star review. As well, share this with somebody that you think that will benefit from this, because again, my mission in this world is to help as many people as possible, and you can help me in part of that journey in helping somebody else to overcome their anxiety. Take care, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.